was I gonna say? Hi, and welcome to the channel. If you're new, I'm Hope, and we're gonna talk about writing and reading type stuff. So if that interests you, stick around, maybe leave a like on the video, comment, or whatever. I've been thinking a lot about what I was gonna make this video about, because as of yesterday, today's Monday, and as of yesterday, I kind of hit a wall with the story for my NaNoWriMo project, which I have named at this time Forever After, because every chapter title I'm starting with for and then a word for something. So that's what I'm going with, I think. Anyway, I'm at 77 pages, 40,000 words in a chapter 7. So, I mean, I've gotten quite a bit done, I think, for it only being November 9th. But I did hit like a wall yesterday where I was just so tired, and the main love interest in my story, it's like a part where they're separate from each other for a while, so I'm less driven to write it. So I thought instead I would talk about something that I find interesting, maybe you'll find interesting, which is like writing timeline type stuff, or like writing styles, because I don't know about you guys, but I do a lot of things like reading articles and listening to podcasts and reading about what published authors say about their writing schedule, because I know a lot of people think that you should treat it like a job and you should have a designated time every day that you write. I personally don't find that very realistic, because a lot of us have other things, school or work, and can't just 100% guarantee a chunk of time to writing every day. And I also think, I get that it's supposed to be, because inspiration and motivation and stuff are fleeting feelings, and if you're in the habit of writing every day, you don't have to rely on those things, which is true. But for me personally, trying to do that, put myself on a schedule like that, feels like too constricting, and it kind of ruins my creativity. And so I don't write that way. I actually write two different styles. One, which I think a lot of people who are really busy do, is just writing whenever I have a chance. That's how come I write on the computer. But I also have a notebook that I carry around and I write in. That way, if I'm out, it's portable. I know you can also write on your phone. I don't like doing that, because I feel like having your phone is too distracting, and I'm gonna end up on YouTube or something instead of writing, or texting somebody, I don't know. So it doesn't really work for me. And the other thing is I write in bursts, and that can happen at any time of day. I just will have a scene in my head that I really want to write, or I will, if I really am trying to write that day but I can't write, I have a Pinterest board, and I scroll on Pinterest and look for like pictures or quotes that give me ideas for things that could happen, and that normally helps me, because a lot of the times where I get stuck is if I have ended a scene and then I quit. Sometimes it's hard the next day because I have to do like transitioning type stuff, which I know a solution for that I've heard before is to stop writing on a cliffhanger, or stop writing right before you get to a scene that you really want to write. I don't have the self-control for that, unfortunately, so that's not really an option for me, but it's definitely an option to try out. What I personally do, what works best for me, is if there's a scene I really want to write, but there's a transition in the way that's stopping me from writing because I just don't care to deal with it, I just do the brackets with like enter transition, and then later, after I've written the scene that I wanted to write, I go back and I actually write that. And that's what personally works best for me. Is there something that I just don't really want to write at that moment, or is hard to write, I just write it in brackets. I do the same thing sometimes with imagery related stuff where I know that I need to describe a setting better, but I really hate description. I hate imagery. I don't like reading it, and I don't like writing it. And that's not like, oh, it's the books you're reading. I've read tons of books that if I stop to analyze it or whatever, or really read it, the imagery is great and the description is great, but I don't read to picture things in my head. I read for characters and the story, and I just don't need description to do that. I just let my head think whatever it wants and just roll with it. But I feel like that was a little bit of a tangent, so let me try to refocus on what we were doing. Also, nope, I'm not gonna get distracted. Not gonna get distracted like I always do. So anyways, all I'm trying to say is that I think, because right now this is just a hobby and fun and something to help me stay motivated to finish the month and finish the novel, that I'm not going to stress too much about the videos and making them seem professional, because I'm not a professional. I'm not even using a camera. I'm using a phone. I mean, I guess it's a camera, but you know, if I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm going to get on the camera when I do to just say whatever has been on my mind lately. And right now what's on my mind is writing schedules, hence why I talked about them. Also a little bit chapters. Do you guys like titled chapters? Is that what they're called? I don't know, but like where they have words, because when I was younger, I did, like when I was writing stories in like preteen and my early teenage years, I always titled my chapters. But then in my later teenage years and my early 20s, I started I say that like I'm not still in my early 20s. Whatever. From my late teenage years to now, I have been just doing chapter numbers. But this is the first story since, I was like 15 that I'm doing chapter titles. Either way, I'm doing good. I hope you guys are all doing good. Whoever stumbles across this video, I hope your writing process is going smoothly. And I would love to hear how you guys write, like what your schedules are like, what tips you have to stay focused. I personally put my phone face down and on the charger away from me so that I don't get distracted by it. And I don't allow myself to open any tabs other than the tab for what I'm working on, the music, and also my Pinterest board. And that way, even if I get off task, it's either to put more songs on my playlist or to add more inspirational type stuff to my Pinterest board, which I know a lot of people argue as well that that's just procrastinating writing because you aren't writing, you're like writing adjacent. But I think it helps me, and I think it puts me in the zone, I guess, or like the realm of what my work is about. So for me, it does help, and it is important. It's pretty much how I focus in every single time I sit down to write. I do think there is definitely some value in having routines like that, even if you can't write at the same time every day. I do think that having a routine that you do every time you sit down to write does help you, because it kind of reminds your brain, like, or puts your brain in the train, focus, thought, whatever of writing is what we're doing today. Well, I think that's it for now, but it's only Monday, and I don't post until Wednesdays right now anyway. So, see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. Hey guys, I'm back. It is Wednesday, the day of posting, November 11th. I meant to get back on here yesterday, but by the time I finally wrote something substantial and had anything I wanted to say, it was just late and I didn't feel like doing it. Now I'm trying to get it done before this hurricane that's coming through knocks out my power. So that's that's where I'm at today. I kept getting stuck. I talked to one of my writer friends about it, and her idea was for me to write a scene from the other character's point of view, like the love interest point of view. And so I did that, and that scene was not very good, but it did seem to help. When I last talked to you guys, I was at 77 pages, and I'm at 104. I'm pretty much through the hard part, I think. I don't know what I'm going to talk about next week. I don't know. I'm just going to keep winging it and kind of doing this until I figure out what I should be doing instead, I guess. I kind of have an idea for after this to do, like, take you guys on a trip, not a trip, a journey with me to try to figure out publishing and how you do all of that, like trying to get published, and or maybe getting some books that I've been wanting to read and posting reviews of them, because I always want to like tell people my opinions on books, but like nobody in my life really reads that much. And for anybody who sees this and gets discouraged because I've written 104 pages, or for anybody who sees this and thinks, wow, she must be like really, really bad to be able to write 104 pages in 11 days, well, less than that. Maybe, but also maybe I feel like everybody has different points where they struggle, and for me, I really struggle in like the last 25%. Wrapping things up in a way that feels satisfying and not completely cliche and generic. If anybody has advice for that, or good articles to read, resources or whatever, leave them down below and I will definitely check them out. But until next week, like the video if you liked the video, leave a comment on all of the different things that I asked you to leave a comment on, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.